Jammies of Legend here with a review of The Force Unleashed 2 by Sean Williams for NJOE. First off, I want to say thanks to Kerr for letting me do this in an audio format instead of typing up my notes, which, thanks to yours, I'll probably end up doing for editing purposes. The irony just kills me. For most people, The Force Unleashed 2 raised a lot of questions since, you kind of died in the first game, and now you're supposedly back to life now. Are you really back to life? Is this just some strange vision of the afterlife, the netherworld of the Force? Who knows? Anyway, it's a pretty big question, and it is answered in the novel, which I had a chance to read. Yay! I have to admit, for a dead guy, Starkiller looks pretty good, and managed to outdo his previous exploits, which were pretty far-fetched even for die-hard godmodders such as myself. Now, we're familiar with the things that you could do in Force Unleashed 1, right? Blowing apart stormtroopers, pulling Star Destroyers out of your sky, that sort of stuff. Wasn't it neat? I managed to play both PS2 and Xbox versions, and I had a lot of fun with it. For me, that's just a thing. I guess you could say I'm a traditionalist as far as character is concerned. Namely, the complete and total power Starkiller displays is outrageous, pure and simple. At least in this book, we see evidence of what that kind of power can do to a person, as our hero returns with doubts as to even his own identity. Who can blame the guy now, as he's been killed how many times now? See my point? Once a character dies, the person naturally assumes that they stay dead, and it creates a major loophole when suddenly, he's alive again. Now, unfortunately, since this is a major point of both the game and the novel, I'm not going to give you any spoilers on it. You're going to have to read yourself or play the game yourself. Unfortunately, I didn't care for this part. Really did not care for it. I mean, to me it seems like Force Unleashed was meant to stay just a one-time thing. I got attached to the character, and then he dies. You expect him to stay dead, especially when you've played as said character in your mother's basement for over 100 hours of gameplay. Alright, sue me. I was bored. No, I am not a loser, just a die-hard gamer. Not a loser! Ugh! Alright, so we're dealing with the fact now that Starkiller is alive, and he's kicking some evil butt around the galaxy. Just for his own purposes? No! He's after the girl. I suppose in a way I kind of like this part, the guy with access to ultimate power and able to bring down Darth Vader and most of the Empire, ditches all this power essentially for the girl. Romance with a Star Wars twist. Gotta love it, yeah? And don't get me wrong, and don't write off the book either for that matter. There's some good old-fashioned destruction. Big things blowing up even bigger things, such as taking a Corellian frigate and mashing it into Camino. But I do feel it's sort of like an amped-up version of Attack of the Clones, with some self-pity thrown into the mix for good measure. And believe me, for me, it was hard for Starkiller to top Anakin as far as whininess, but if it ever came down to it, I'd have to give Starkiller the trophy in this book. The storyline for the book starts off pretty much as we've seen for the previews in the game. Starkiller is alive in a hole and battles his way out of where he's being kept after Darth Vader gives him a death order. The reason? Juno Eclipse!